You've reached call in Mockery.
All right, we're back.
Hold on, just got to take my car keys off. I'm doing a little ADR session later. That's for the scene where Marcel the Shell drives a boat or whatever. I mean, God.
If that's your car keys, I got to see a doctor.
Hey, if you're not watching the video of this episode, I implore you to pull your boat over, pull out your laptop, and watch the video because we're getting crazy on this special episode of Call in Mockery.
Every week we come to you with a funny location. Every week we come to you with an episode of the show. And then every week we're at a different location. This week, tell the boys and girls where we're at.
We are staying in Hotel, not California. I've heard some strange things about this place. Number one being you can check in. So we're not staying there.
Yeah.
But this is a hotel, and it's a Holiday Inn Express. Why? Because we like to do things efficiently. I think the difference between a Holiday Inn Express and a regular Holiday Inn... God, what is the difference? They put benches in the rooms.
A regular Holiday Inn is bad.
Oh. Well, these are newer, too, right?
Yeah. But sometimes you accidentally book a Holiday Inn.
Oh.
And there's roaches everywhere. There's like fingernail clippings everywhere.
Oh.
And you're like, somebody get me back to the Express.
Well, we're sharing a parking lot with a Hampton Inn, and it was a little bit cheaper. It had more good ratings though.
Well, they do. A Holiday Inn Express, and I will say this appears to be a Holiday Inn that was
turned into an Express,
renovated into an Express.
Okay.
And that is not one that you typically want to stay at. But if it's your only option...
Well, it wasn't. So there was two options. There was the Hampton Inn, which was cheaper and had much more higher ratings. This one had about 50 ratings. That one had a 200 plus. But I said, Landon likes a Holiday Inn Express. So I said, you know what? We're springing for it. It's one night in Soho. So we got the Holiday Inn Express. I showed up. The man... Oh, no, sorry. No one was at the counter. There's a guy smoking outside like this. And I'm standing there for a little bit. And then I see the guy do a double take through the window, look at me, and his jaw dropped. And then he ran inside, not before another woman could come up to the counter before he got there somehow. And she's like, "Are you checking in?" And he shows up out of breath. "Are you checking in?" And then as I'm getting checked in, I look down to my left. And I see a vat of disinfectant, much like what they put a comb in at a barber shop.
Oh.
And it says, "Drop your key cards in here."
And it looks so good. You want to drink it?
Mm-hmm. It's like, because when you look at it, you think the wall's about to bust down and a guy's going to go, "Hey, yeah."
Yeah, like the barber shop.
So, why are we at the Holiday Inn Express? Well, we just had a fun little get together. We showed our show. We're working on a show, and it's not this show. It's a different show, and we showed our show to a bunch of people that wanted to see us show our show.
And hey, man, sometimes you just got to shoot your shot and show your show.
I shot my shot. Landon shot his shot. We shot our shot together.
Yeah.
And guess what came out? A show. We showed a show, and people responded to it. But that's not this show.
No. This show's not about that show, right?
No, I think last year we did say... No, did we do them? No, 3 years ago. Oh my God.
No, last year we did. Wait,
I think it was when we did lunch break
that we did an after
did a
show
Halloween-a-palooza after show at the hotel.
No.
Okay, but it was still lunch break.
Yeah.
So we did an after show. Oh, because we had pizza. Order pizza.
Yes. In 2019. The year was 2019. Landon and Joey were invited to Halloween-a-Palooza to do their show, Lunch Break, where they eat food. Hot food. Now, and then we did do a special live show that was Halloween adjacent, I would say. And you're like, adjacent? That's the slasher from Friday the 13th. And you're like, well, actually, it's his beep.
Yeah,
no
don't
spoilers.
tell.
So, and then in 2020, the whole thing was closed.
Yeah.
Because there was a
The strangest thing happened.
Get your pumpkin in now. Get on out of your seat. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. And then,
So that happened.
and then we may I finish?
Oh.
Or in the words of Dana Carvey, expertly lambasting and lampooning that little guy that he did. Can't have it one time.
Your pants are blue too.
Yeah,
We both have blue pants on.
And by the way, I don't know if you smell my feet, but they do stink. A sort of stench that you don't want to be near.
Well, we were just so nervous earlier,
We were nervous, and also my feet always sweat and stink like absolute horse.
What did I land on earlier?
Hey, nice to meet you.
Okay, that's why we do the show. Because of little tiny jokes like this that make us laugh very, very funny. Look, if you watch the video, it's like, okay, he's treating that microphone like it's something else. And I'm like, shish not a cigar.
and sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Thank you.
Joey's all over the place. So we both got okay. Let's recap. 2019, we did Lunch Break at the festival.
Yes.
It went over like gangbusters and like Ghostbusters.
And over everyone's heads.
Well, usually does. Now, 2020, no go. 2021, yes go. But we do the Poltergeist live show where we do Act Like the Poltergeist, which is our show that's coming out next year.
Togo.
After that, we do what some call the greatest episode of Lunch Break ever, where we are eating leftovers in our hotel room while Whose Line Is It Anyways on mute on the TV, and we're just kind of narrating what's going on TV. And everyone said, this was a funny episode, could have used about 30 minutes less of you guys talking about what's on TV. So I'll have you know that the TV is off because this year we showed the show at the show. We came back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
First we did stop and get Haagen-Dazs.
Well, we wanted to get, it's Halloween, it's fall, the pumpkin's back everywhere. And I'm not one of these pumpkin skeptics.
No, I like it.
I get it early. I get it early and often. Hey.
Well, because a lot of times...
Landon's doing the Star Trek.
Ninu.
I don't even know. No, that's wrong.
A lot of times you don't get the pumpkin. Here's what happens to us a lot. We'll go to Trader Joe's. We'll go to the stores. We'll see all the pumpkin stuff. We'll say, well, not yet. We'll say, not yet. Next time. And my honey's out there listening on your freaking
CB
radio, your ham radio, your pork tornadoes. There ain't going to be a next time.
No.
Because the pumpkin gets bought up as if it were hot cakes, and everyone loves hot cakes. Yeah. So you get it, and this year we got it all.
It's like boiled eels. If you lived in London in the 1800s, I'm just speaking honestly.
I can't believe in America you don't eat beans on toast.
No beans on toast, no boiled potatoes with eel gelatin.
It's like, okay, you guys may have invented tea, but here's the tea. That looks like crap. And I know they didn't invent tea.
Anything that you think is seasonal, like it is too soon. No, they're putting it out then because you got to get it.
That's when you got to get it, guys, because they only make a certain amount.
Or for some reason, there was something I saw that I wanted to get Halloween adjacent.
Uh-huh.
And again, he's
not
not the killer.
For the first.
But it was, I said, well, I got to get I'll just get this later. I can't buy a bunch of Halloween stuff right now. It's never been at the store again. It's not going to be.
You have to get it when it's... Get it while the getting's good. There's a reason these sayings are out there.
Right. Tale as old as time. The getting is good when the stuff's there. You got to get it then.
Get it while the getting's good.
I know that my
God
time
dang
is
it.
running thin on these pumpkin spice Oreos.
Oh, lordy, lordy. Look who's 40. You got to get it now.
But I want the pumpkin spice Culver's treat.
That's what we set out to get, isn't it?
Yes, but of course, unfortunately, our show went over like gangbusters.
And Ghostbusters.
Do, Re, Egon. And
Did I ever tell you my dad used to work with a guy named
no.
named Ray? And he would always go, Doe, a deer, a female deer. Ray, a name I call myself. Because usually you go Do, Re, me. Me, a name I call myself. But his name was Ray.
That's good.
So that's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
And if what could I throw my name into of a common little song? Landon, Landon.
Closest thing to do is land on.
Well, Landon. You could do like Landon a plane or something.
But that's not a song that anyone knows.
Well, not because we haven't written it yet.
No.
Do, 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 do.
I was taking my plane to a place they call Spain, and I always go downtown. We didn't get to the part with your name.
No, that's
We'll
fine.
figure it out.
Yeah, maybe later.
So now this is in your head. I want a sweet treat. We had to go sit in front of an audience and basically lambast ourselves.
We were looking like freaking turkeys with being basted.
Mm-hmm, get the baster out because that was us, baby. So we went to the store and said, well, now we're just getting ice cream.
Because we were too late. Did we say that yet?
Oh, yeah. So
everyone was talking our years off.
talking our years off, so we had to...
We were
Culver's closed.
Culver's closed.
It
Couldn't
wasn't
get
closed, and I want to make this clear.
Yeah.
To talk about our character.
Absolutely.
It was close enough to being closed that I said, Landon, and he was driving us there, and I said, Landon, hold on.
Well,
I don't want to be this kind of person.
I said it first.
I don't want to be that kind of people's.
Yeah.
I want to be good people's.
Like Melvin Van.
Or like one person, when you say, who is that? Hey, do you know Johnny? You go, yeah, Johnny is good. Johnny is good people's.
He's good people's. So, and speaking of, I have been looking out of our people's to make sure no one's coming down the hallway, just because we did go to a Halloween festival and it is scary.
Yeah, I've been freaked out the whole time. Landon and I got ice cream. Guess what? We got the same kind.
We got the same kind. Well, we're buddies.
And this was one I've seen a lot, and I've gone for other ones in this little Haagen-Dazs series where they change the color of the cup.
Yeah, they say, okay, this one's actually kind of special.
This one's churro. This is the best. I love their vanilla bean. Sometimes I'll just buy that.
Sure. Haagen-Dazs knows what they're doing. They've been doing it for years, and they do it well. And of course, this is not an episode of Lunch Break, but we do have to take a second and say, that's Daz.
It should be Haagen-Dazs does goods ice cream.
Inspired by New York's classic black and white cookie, we mix vanilla bean ice cream with soft cookie pieces and ripples of chocolate frosting.
Pieces.
Forget the cookie and grab your spoon. That's Daz. Artwork by Jude Purple Brown, and for some reason there is a little picture of lips with SpongeBob teeth. The SpongeBob teeth, where there are two big ones.
Landon, it's a Jade Purple Brown.
What did I say?
You said Jude Purple Brown.
Oh, my bad.
People might try to look this up and they're like getting
I'm sorry.
Other things.
And no RBST. I appreciate that when I go to Haagen-Dazs, the store.
Hey, you know what else has no RBS? Marilyn Manson.
Well, he
has no rubs.
That's made up. He would never.
I just wanted to top myself off.
Boys and girls of every age, won't you like to see something strange in this Halloween, in this town of
You're scared of this guy?
This is Halloween, dark and scary in the dead of night.
Well, didn't he abuse a bunch of
He's
women?
a bad person.
Yeah, okay.
I just mean in the way when you're like, oh, he's a ghoul,
He's
man.
freaky. He has different colored eyeballs.
He's a monster.
No, he doesn't.
He's a monster in a different way. He doesn't have different colored eyeballs, and he has all his ribs. What a loser.
He's not like that guy Vincent Furnier. That guy Vincent Furnier who
I'm not like other Vincents.
get a load of this guy. This guy called Vincent Furnier. He dresses up like a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
Long hair, long nose, bunch of makeup on his eyes. He comes out and he says, "I'm Alice Cooper." And then he brings a snake on stage. The snake bites him or something. I don't know. This guy's crazy, but he's actually just a nice guy.
That is so crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That you could go after the show and he's like, hello there. Would you like some pickles and onions? Like backstage.
He works at Culver's backstage.
He works at a Potbelly. He's like, pickle lettuce, mayo onion, I love pickles.
All right, look. We're at the hotel. How'd the show go?
Did you go see Alice Cooper in town the other day?
No.
Just wondering.
I know people that did go.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's just say he might be 74, but he acts 50.
That's good to hear.
Nah, from all accounts, he's still got it.
He's a showman.
Well, many people say say he was doing music videos on stage before music videos even existed. What does that mean to you?
Doesn't make any sense to me. And speaking of being a showman, he also showed up in the John Carpenter movie Prince of Darkness. And
Great.
it kind of takes you out of the movie.
Sure.
Because he shows up and he's like,
What you doing, baby?
and you're like,
as a creepy?
he's a creepy.
He's
He's,
kind of
not
creeper.
himself. He's playing a character. But
What's the character's name?
Alice Cooper. The show went well. The show went well.
I like when he's in Wayne's World.
Yeah, you like when everyone's in Wayne's World.
Well, they go to the show and he's like, "Welcome to my nightmare." But they go backstage and he's like, "Oh, hey, Wayne. Hey, Garth." And you're like, "That's the same guy." He's like, "I play golf so I don't become an alcoholic again." You're like, "That's the same guy."
And he loves to. He's got a great sense of humor. He's like Martha Stewart.
He can make fun of himself.
I went to jail, so what? Snoop Dogg killed somebody,
And we're friends. And Snoop Dogg is the Grinch.
Oh.
The show went well. People were laughing their little tiny hair off.
People laughed their tiny hair off. A little boy told us he might watch the show, and I was like, "Well, you can. It's on the TV. It's right in front of you."
As he was leaving halfway through, he turned to us and gave us the old thumbs up and said, "I think I might watch it."
Yeah, that's all I could ever ask.
Yeah. So, we were touching a lot of people with our show. With our show.
Ooh.
We were touching a lot of people with our show.
And it's one of those things where it's also one of those things where you don't want. He knows he's young enough. Stay with me. He's young enough to know that. Well, no, he's old enough to know.
Thank you. Yes.
That you don't want to meet your heroes sometimes. So if he were to come up to us and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I got to run," and then ask us some like banal question about the effing making of the effing show, and he's like,
Right.
"But who's your favorite person to work with, if alive or dead?"
Right.
Like, I'd drop kick him. But because he just said like, "Hey, gotta go. I think I might watch it when it's on TV."
Yeah.
And all his story about meeting us will be great forever.
That's right.
They gave me the little thumbs up back.
We did, and we did a peace. I believe I did a peace sign. That's kind of what I've been doing a lot nowadays.
I do that to, and I'm like, is that weird? I do that to.
Yeah, it kind of seems weird.
I do that to people when they're leaving the office. Like, oh, I'm heading home. I'm like, yeah. And they're.
Yeah, I did it to someone. Who did I do that to recently? And it just felt wrong. As I was doing it, I was like,
Was it Saddam Hussein?
Yeah. I just, I no peace to him. But I did offer it. I just at a second nature or whatever you say.
Well, because you offer it to everyone. It's the Woodstock effect.
Yeah.
It's made reverberations. Woodstock was the pebble, and our parents' were the pond, right?
Yeah.
And it
rippled.
Blip.
And then by the time we went to Woodstock, we were just rioting and
we're like,
rioting, throwing mud at people. Random drugs were being spread out that had that nasty stuff that kills cops if they're even near it.
Hold on. This is going to be good. That nasty stuff that kills cops.
You read
just
about
by
it all the
being
time
near it?
now.
You mean justice?
Oh!
You're talking about fentanyl.
Yep.
It's in your kids' Halloween candy. That's what they're putting in your kids' Halloween candy. Cocaine. And guess what's in the cocaine? Fentanyl. And guess what's in the fentanyl? Your sniffer.
If you're even in the vicinity of fentanyl, and if you're a cop, otherwise you're fine, you may suffer great loss. Therefore, you may inflict the most damage to someone who might be having fentanyl around them. What even is fentanyl?
You might be a redneck.
Because we were talking about this the other day.
Who, you and your students?
Yeah. I was saying, what is fentanyl? What is fentanyl? And they're like, is that the guy that crossed the ocean blue in 1492? And I said, no. That's Chris Columbus, who also went on to direct the Harry Potter films.
Oh, I think we changed Christopher Columbus Day to Chris Columbus Day.
Yes. We're like, do you ever heard of Home Alone? Yeah. It's deserving of a holiday.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. This ice cream's hitting me hard.
I know.
I haven't eaten this much ice cream in one seating since, last time I
Tuesday.
saw Landon, which was in Wisconsin. And I ate a big old gullet of it.
Oh, geez, yeah. God.
Is Landon, everyone out there, take the quiz with me. Is Landon a bad influence? Oinky, doinky.
You know, it was great. One of the jokes I was worried about in the show did work.
Are you going to tell us what it is?
No, it's kind of, I don't want to ruin it. It's a good one. And in my opinion, it's one of the funnier jokes.
You got to tell me off.
I'll tell you after the show.
This is good because I've always wanted to have a moment where sometimes you listen to a podcast with people that are a little in the industry and they're like, well, did you hear who Ellen did spit on?
Right.
And they're like, I can't say it on air,
but I'll tell you after.
And you're like, I want to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Of the show of Fly on the Wall. You know who Ellen did spit on? You got to tell us, dude.
Come on, tell us. Party on, Wayne. I don't know. I can't do Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey can't do Dana Carvey.
He doesn't know who he is.
He's
He's an enigma wrapped in an enigma, and he needs an enema.
Just like this town.
Hey.
So this is, of course, a crazy episode where we do go off the rails because...
And do go off, Queen.
Thank you. Let's see. Where are we at here?
Oh, we're good.
It's not even that late, but I feel like it's...
There's an after party that is starting in 3 minutes, right?
Something like that. I feel like I could fall asleep immediately.
It's the coldest day of the year. Let me
it's
look
so
at
cold.
this. Yeah, it starts at 11 after party. God, do we go? Well, I guess if the people that are running this festival hear this later, they're gonna be like, they fell asleep
Yeah.
because they're gonna know we didn't see him there. Or if they do, they're just going to see me on the table ordering 10 grilled cheeses.
Sorry, I was ordered to take some photos of my ice cream.
For live viewers.
It's gone, baby. But you can see the cup.
We don't have a freezer in this room. That's the other thing.
We had to eat the whole thing. And of course, as I told Joey before I scarfed it down like an animal, I would do this at home. I would eat this lickety-split, no problemo. But I hate to do it in front of you.
Well,
We still have some of those walls up, don't we?
yeah.
We can't be truly honest with each other because I don't want you to know that I would eat a full pint of ice cream. I just do it. But I don't want you to know that.
I've done it before.
I do it every time.
I've learned to love to stop loving the bomb and start loving the bomb. I've started to. I'm like, I have to stop if it's halfway. I just have to stop.
You can't. I can't.
Yeah.
Personally, I can't.
Well, I've also gotten to the point where it's more than halfway, because then it's the point where it's like melting, and but then I go, I have to. I can't do the thing where I finish it. But then what I have left is this little frozen
Yeah, and
chocolate nub,
It's hard to eat later, isn't it? So you do yourself a disservice.
and then it's not satisfying.
No, much like this episode, I would imagine.
A lot of our viewers are like, we've waited weeks and weeks because we haven't missed a week of the show. That's not what I'm saying.
Our
They just-
listeners were all in a coma.
Yeah,
From
you're
what I've
backed up,
heard.
and it's like, huh.
You're backed up.
If you're in a coma, maybe. So, I think this is going to be exciting. People like that we're in a new location.
People like that. What else? Okay, so
We've got that Atumwa energy rushing through our veins.
for some reason we have not talked about what we've been watching, and I have to talk about some things that we've been watching. But if we do the thing that we were talking about doing tomorrow,
Why are you going to talk more about movies then?
well, just in case, well, forget it.
Did you watch that Woodstock documentary?
No,
Crazy stuff.
I want to, but I just didn't. I don't have time. I don't have time.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much stuff to watch, and I got
That was pretty short, but
taxes.
3
and-
episodes. Not a huge time commitment. I, in fact, watched the first episode like 1.5 times.
Well, listen to this though, because
It's not your parents' Woodstock.
the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills
Oh, right.
is finishing up, but the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is starting.
It's like tectonic plates.
Yes, exactly. But while we're getting the finale of the Beverly Hills, where Kathy Hilton has seemingly gone on a tirade that they don't have footage of. But Lisa Rinna says that she did do it. So now it's Lisa Rinna versus Kathy Hilton.
Right.
But meanwhile, over on Salt Lake, Jen Shaw, we know that she's guilty of the crimes that she's been accused of, but we're watching, 6 months ago when she's still acting innocent. Meanwhile, Whitney Rose has uncovered memories that she was abused as a child. These are all things that are very, very interesting.
Are they doing this on purpose? Showing you stuff that happens later while you're still trying to find out what happened a while ago?
What?
Of whatever.
What?
Well, you're saying there's like a 6 months different or something.
Well, they can't film it in real time. It's not live streamed. So Jen Shaw of Salt Lake was arrested by the FBI for very serious crimes. But at the time of the filming of these episodes that are coming out now, she was just about to go to court, and she's still saying that she's innocent. But where we stand now, in real life and in real time, we know that she was found guilty, or she pled guilty, actually.
Oh, you just mean by like reading the news?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny to be watching where she's like, I lost my whole family, and I'm going to prove I'm innocent. But we know, like, in 3 months, she pleads guilty. And it's just kind of funny. It's one of the many very interesting aspects of the Real Housewives franchises that I have fully lost many hours to.
That's kind of like when you're watching some of these true crime, like The Staircase or the Nexium documentary. Sorry, Nexium.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, okay, so this guy being a creep, and then are the police going to catch him? And I'm like, I am stopping myself. My hand is reaching for my phone because I'm like, I could just know.
Don't look it up.
I could just look it up and know.
No. Don't do it.
I don't. And then sometimes my SO will be like, she'll pick up her phone and start going, oh. And I'm like, don't tell me. I know what you're doing over there.
And now people are mad. So people are. Do you watch this Dahmer
No!
Monster?
It's disgusting. I won't have it in my house.
Monster. Dahmer Monster, the Dahmer story. That's what it's called, I think. It's insane. Dahmer Monster, colon. What?
What the heck happened?
It's like Dahmer Monster. I just keep saying this over. I think it's called like Dahmer Monster, colon, the Dahmer story.
I think it's called like I'm serious. Dahmer Monster, colon, the Dahmer Monster story.
Oh yeah. So anyway, this thing is people are so mad now about like I get we've been making like we know about Dahmer. Fully agree. We don't need to keep making, but also like what happened? Why are we so mad? I don't know. I'm actually asking.
It's a good question because to me,
and to me, I really like Kong. You guys seeing any of this? I know we're a couple weeks late, but God,
months and months.
Anyway, go ahead.
So, whoever has the room next to us is mad.
So mad
because they all everything was quiet, but then they heard Kong, and then
we'll keep it down now.
I heard one person say, "No, we won't." That they didn't ask for permission to, they spoke in
public story,
court, and then they used like an actress said their lines on the show, and they're like, "You didn't have our permission." But what I'm confused about, I mean, that's one thing I've heard. The other thing I heard was like, I don't know, he's a bad man. Was like the other thing was like he's a bad man.
He's a bad man. But he's pretty.
Aren't true crime podcasts like the number one type of podcast?
Yes.
Like millions and millions of people,
of course,
listen to all sorts of different
God only knows I'm guilty too.
My Favorite Murder, Morbid, Serial, tons and tons more that I could name.
I like the one where it's the frickin' winos talking about it.
Well, and that's if you're talking about a TV show is talking about this guy killing people, okay?
Kill 'em, eat 'em,
but you got
make
some
'em with
of
glue.
these shows are like some of these podcasts that are popular are people like, okay, so I'll be honest, I thought Dahmer was kind of a snack when I first saw him.
Jennifer.
Well, I did. I had these dreams where I was like, I'll be your sex slave.
No, Jackson. Jennifer Jackson. Why would you say that?
Do you?
What?
We're best friends. You
I
don't know my name?
No, I do.
Say my name.
Jessica.
Say my name.
Jennifer.
When no one is around you, say, baby, I love you.
Baby, I love you.
Why are you playing games?
It's just I'm a love machine.
So people are pissed. They're saying you shouldn't make this dirty little show.
But and I get now we're having, so yes, people are mad about that, and now people are also mad that true crime stuff exists.
Yeah, people are having a come to Jesus moment.
They're like, dang, why are we profiting off of the suffering of innocent people?
You people did it. I didn't do it.
Well, I'm here to say, who cares? Well, look, no, I get it. I get it in one way, but in the other way, it's like it didn't happen to me, so I like it.
Right.
Simple as that, Pat.
There is that thing where if you hear some of these, you go, well, if this happened to me, I just think some of the podcasts I can't listen to.
Sure.
Because the way they treat, like,
oh, yes.
and then he like raped and murdered all these, like this woman, and then yes, he did.
Really?
And okay, this week's sponsor is Popcorn Company. We love our delicious blood red.
Oh my goodness!
Like if your friend or your family member died, it's probably like, okay, I don't need to.
Yeah.
But I get the popularity of them, and as someone said that I was reading when someone was mad about this show existing, they're like, well, it's interesting to people to hear about like the darkest.
Yeah, and for the record, I don't listen to the ones where the old bags are talking about it.
I listen to the ones where the professors.
I like the ones that are investigating it, like that one that did the guy who just got out, and apparently, Serial.
You've never listened to a podcast, have you?
The guy got out of prison now, and now people are saying that. Did you ever listen to Serial? I listen to the sound of cereal every morning being chomped down.
Yeah,
on my
blueberry crunch.
Humda, humda, humda. Anyway,
I didn't listen to Serial just because I'm a contrarian.
Yeah,
and I had already been listening to podcasts for 10 years, and people are like, "Have you heard Serial? It's a podcast."
Yeah, well, I listened to it. I don't know, way late.
You're a bandwagoner.
I listened to it way late, way past.
Was it good? I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good, except that it doesn't come to any conclusions. And she, at least in my opinion, she pretty much presents the information in a relatively unbiased way, where she's like, even by the end, she's like, I don't know if he did it or not.
His name's Anon.
No. But then he got out, and I was seeing all these stories of like, Serial actually hurt his case. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the only reason anyone on Earth knows about his case, and probably the only reason that it got appealed and gone through all these different circuit courts and all these things. Otherwise, he would just be in prison still. I don't know. It's a little bit of the bite the hand that feed you type of thing, where it's like, because she presented it in a way that made him seem guilty. Well, no. She was just presenting what she was looking at.
Right.
No one else was investigating it. Just this one lady and her friend. And so what if she drove from Walmart or the Best Buy parking lot to the school, and she made it in the amount of time that it would have taken him to get there and strangle the lady? Or whatever happened.
Anon?
Doesn't even know that his name is Anon. It's Adnan.
Yeah, I'm Adnan. Every time I go to Burger King, I'm like, yeah, I'll get the extra freaking.
Hell yeah, have it your way, man. Hell yeah, have it your way,
The
man.
guy that works at Burger King. Can I get big fries?
Look, it's a hell yeah, have it your way, man.
Hey, you're cool.
It's nothing to me at this point.
People were also mad that it was labeled on Netflix as
A comedy.
as a musical. It was like LGBTQ plus.
Oh, right. Because he liked to eat men and women?
Well, hey. Thanksgiving's Thanksgiving, brother.
Some people say that's.
I just don't get it's
What?
like they're and then people like the OJ show that Ryan Murphy did.
Yeah. Which, if you watch 2 seconds of that, you're like, all these people are the worst actors I've ever seen.
I think the thing we should be mad about is giving Ryan Murphy unlimited access to whatever he wants to do
The guy's worthless.
when he has shown that
Time and time again.
you did one good season of a TV show. Like you did the first season of American Horror Story and you're like, hey, that's creepy.
Nip tuck.
Sure. I just mean
Wait, didn't he do Glee?
Yeah, I guess he is a genius. But why did he do Glee? He seems scary to me. He did Glee, but then he's like, well, I'm actually a freak. He only wants to do things about smacks and murders.
So he did Nip Tuck.
Mm-hmm.
Then he did Glee. Well, that was his next big thing, I guess. Glee.
Yeah.
And then American Horror Story
Yeah.
with Mr. Brad Falchuk or whatever. Or is
Yeah.
that it's always a Murphy Falchuk, isn't it?
It's always a Murphy Falchuk in my house.
Anyway, point is,
In my house, make it a Murphy Falchuk.
for every one good season of something, he makes about 8 terrible things. And it's like no one else has allotted that many losses to wins, you know?
And who is American Horror Story? And I'm asking this because I've fallen
Well,
off
it's a
the
show.
wagon.
It's not a guy.
Brad Falchuk?
You said who is American Horror Story?
Are you no?
That's
his-
not a guy.
So Murphy Falchuk is a guy,
Yeah.
and he is living in an American Horror Story.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Is anyone still watching the show?
Are we all? This one? Probably not. No, American Horror Story? No. I think...
Are enough people still watching it where they keep giving him a chance? Or is it just like, well, he's a showrunner that knows...
he knows how to make TV.
People are going to watch Dahmer because they're curious. It doesn't matter if it's good or...
And What's His Nuts is probably get some Emmy or something for it or whatever.
Because he's like, I had to think about being a killer.
It's so easy. It really would be so easy. You don't have to do any of that. Even when you talk to a normal actor who's like, "Oh yeah, I method act." Like who was it just recently? I think Andrew Garfield. It's like I method act, but I can still just be normal. Like it gets a bad rap because people use it as an excuse to just be mean to people. But I method act and then still just be a normal, nice human being because you can. It's just funny. Why did I say that? Evan Peters is probably eating people for real, though.
Yeah. It is funny when it is. There aren't method actors for, I don't know, like I had to pretend. I acted like Harvey Milk, so I became a senator and like helped a bunch of people. It's only when it's like I had to, I don't know.
Yeah.
It gave them like Shia LaBeouf was like I had to do acid for real.
Yeah.
I can pretend that I'm wonky.
Yeah. Some say it's your natural state.
Some say you might have to have method act to be normal. Try being normal for a second.
Hey, come here. Try being normal for a second.
Hi,
Try
how
being
are ya?
normal.
Try being normal for a second.
Meow.
Hey,
Meow.
4.
We've got Bill Murray out on the links. He's grabbing women and shaking their arms around.
Oh, and we can laugh about that.
He said he learned his lesson, and then
And then
I watched a clip that made me schvetz. But I can act creepy. I've been doing the smile thing around my house all month.
Oh yeah, okay.
You just
so
stop and go and turn and smile.
Let's talk about movies we've seen.
Let's talk about movies. And this is not a brag.
No.
I'm not a braggadocio.
First of all, I want to say if you've seen a horror film in the last couple of weeks, any of them, Barbarian, Smile, many, those are the two I've seen. But I'll just want to say, and I don't think this is a big spoiler, but actually it goes back to It Chapter 2, honestly. I have to tell you this. Tall women are slaying right now. There's nothing more terrifying than seeing a big, tall woman. Apparently.
So you saying slaying like literally?
Literally. Apparently, there is nothing more. You literally couldn't think of anything scarier than a gigantic woman.
That says more about you than it says about me.
Well, I don't want to say anything, but it's like, it kind of does.
Yeah.
There's nothing scarier than what if a woman grew up and was big and tall
And could power over me.
and could freaking run down the street, go tunk, tunk, tunk. And then you got She-Hulk over here who's making everyone getting freaking horny.
And they're guffawing as well.
They're like, dang, that's a tall woman that I think is sexy.
And she's green and animated.
they're like, and then she shrinks down to a normal, like the normal pretty lady, and they're like,
They changed the channel.
they're like, well, no, even in the world of the show, they're like, I liked you better as the big green fucking freaking. I liked you better as the big green monstrosity. You're sexier that way. And then he shrinks down to the normal pretty actress.
Who's a real person.
Who's a real person. She's like, well, that just happened. And then she turns to the camera and says, do you think this date is going to go well? Jackson.
I don't think I'm going to watch this show.
Nah, it's pretty fun.
I'm sure it is, but
The old red and yellow Daredevil himself showed up this week.
whoa.
And you're saying to yourself, is Disney going to freaking Disneyfy the Daredevil boy? And they did. But it does work. And you're saying, is it the same guy that was beating people to a bloody pulp over on Netflix? No. But no. He's still, God, it's good to see him, you know, the Daredevil.
The Daredevil. Hey, it is good to see him. I'm glad that. No, it is. I'm glad when other things can reference something that I know about too.
Yeah, it's good. I'll watch any of it.
You watch Andor?
Andor's the best show on TV.
I got to start that. I'm excited to watch that.
Andor's the best Star Wars since Empire Strikes Back.
Wow. I'll probably say it's the best Star Wars since Rogue One.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably exaggerating when I say that. But, now, is it my favorite? No.
Yes. Oh.
But it is the best.
Interesting. That is so weird.
And then over on HBO, you got the House of the Dragon, Hot D, as we've been calling it. And this show, it's great. It's great. I'm a gothead.
There was a guy that asked me at work if I watched it, and I said, no. And he just kind of, his eyes glazed over because he couldn't wait to tell me about this nasty last episode.
Ooh,
and
from this last week?
Yeah, and he's like, there's some stuff going on in the House of Dragon. And I was like, yeah, I haven't.
I'm not annoyed.
And then I just sat there while he turd someone else. What happened? And he's like, it's actually not. It's not what you think of. Like, there's actually a lot that goes into like how you would raise a dragon and train a dragon.
Is really?
And if you have the dragons, you have more power. And I was like, I don't think that's what the whole show's.
The dragons are like,
I haven't seen it, but
there's almost nothing about raising the dragon. Like, no.
Well, to be
there's
fair,
5% dragons.
When I asked him to give me the name of the show where someone was raising the dragon, it was not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I said, "You're fired."
That's right. You're a Trump guy.
That's right. Money, 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 money.
You are fired.
You're gonna love Trump ice. It's a water.
You are fired. Remember he'd say that? Just like that, too. You are fired. That's where I'm taking it nowadays.
That's good. Oh.
Yeah, thank you. No, so we saw The Barbarian. We haven't talked about it. I want to talk about it.
I saw Barbarian too.
I saw it.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
Yeah. That's about all I can say.
You want to go in cold.
You don't want to know anything before going in. And I don't even want to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Because anything I say could be taken as a spoiler. You just don't want to know about the movie.
I talked to a couple here tonight about The Barbarian. Well, they were asking, first of all, they were drunker than skunks. And they were talking, they were like, is this like What We Do in the Shadows about our show? And I was like, I know people are saying that's the funniest show on TV.
It is.
So I said, yeah, it's horror comedy, so so it might be, probably not as good as that, but it's kind of in that vein. And then the lady goes, "Oh, like the Barbarian?" I was laughing so hard throughout the whole thing of the Barbarian. And I was like, yeah, not really like that, but it is. I mean, and so then we were talking about the Barbarian. Her husband hadn't seen it, and she said,
This is interesting because Lana keeps calling it the Barbarian. I feel like that's not the name.
"Is it not?" So maybe it's just Barbarian.
I think it's just Barbarian.
All right, well, the Barbarian.
You just kind of sound like an old person.
Well,
we went and saw the Barbarian.
it's like when you see a band.
Yeah.
Like The National.
But they are the National.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, I went to The National show.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
But what I'm telling you is that you don't have to do that here because it's just called Barbarian.
Okay, well, fair enough. So she was like, "The Barbarian is funny." Okay, I believe you.
I'm
What do
just
you want me
giving
to
you a
say?
little proof. And even looking at this photo,
That doesn't even give you the half of it.
oh
does
my
it?
God. Go on.
And she's like, "I was laughing the whole time." And he was like, "Were you supposed to be?" And she was like, and then she kind of looked at me, and I was like, I mean, it's kind of like a dark comedy, I guess. It's supposed to kind of be funny. And she was like, yeah, it's funny. And he was like, so you knew it was going to be funny? And she was like, well, I just went. So anyway, they were kind of fighting about it then, because he knew that she
Ruined the movie for everyone around her.
I think he knew that she was lying.
Yeah.
She probably was laughing because she thought it was bad. Or like, not supposed to be funny, but
Right.
it's so bad that it's funny, that type of thing. And she probably just didn't get it. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. They were both drunken skunks, and I didn't want to get into it with these people because I am having no disrespect. This is the summer of no disrespect, and it is still summer, and I do piece them out.
Parts of it are funny.
Parts of it are funny, and it is I would say it's a dark comedy
Yeah.
in the way of like people say like Donnie Darko is a dark
I'd say
comedy.
it's a pitch black comedy.
Oh, it's pitch black, and most of the movie, if you're not seeing it in a theater, you're going to be like, okay, this is literally pitch black.
Yeah.
I can't see anything. It's so dark. Nah, I don't know.
But the beginning, like, there are parts of it that I wouldn't be laughing at. I was very worried and tense.
It's one of
you don't know what's gonna happen.
It's one of the more tense experiences I've had in the theater, I would say.
I was uncomfortable.
Well, and then even the funny part, when we do get to a certain part comes up, and it is kind of funny, but even that's uncomfortable because even the comedy parts of that are uncomfortable because it's about something that's kind of like, gee, it's just about something that's bad. So anyway,
That's the dark comedy part of it.
Right. You're like, it's funny, and I love this actor. He plays it perfectly, and you just hate him, but you can't, and that's like, it makes you feel weird inside, and you're like, God. And then by the end, he's still doing it anyway. We can't get into these things.
I love the casting in this film.
I give it. What do we do it nowadays?
I think it's bones. 10 bones. I give it
bones,
7.5 bones.
Yeah, I'll give her 8 bones.
8 bones. I'll give it 7. I'll think about it, but for now, 7.5 bones.
And then we saw. Let's see. What'd you say? You saw.
I saw Pearl. Pearl was great.
Spray it at me. I haven't seen X or Pearl.
I'm just surprised at how much I enjoy these Ty West films because history has told me otherwise. So I'm very happy with these 2 films, but of course, maybe it is his muse. It is the Mia Goth of it all. And she's like, I'll help you write this film. If you listen to her talk in the movie and then hear her talk, it's night and day.
She's like, thanks for coming out to see my film. I really liked having you there.
I haven't heard her talk in the movie, but I have heard her doing that.
Well, in the movie, she's like,
I want to go to church and have a little fun.
yeah.
and then she's like,
Thank you for coming to see my movie. I'm so excited. My eyes just fell out of my skull.
And this woman is completely without eyebrows.
yep. That's the new thing, though. You
Yeah,
know,
oh, God, yeah. It's freaking...
sweeping a nation. And people are going to have to be sweeping the floors with all these.
all these little tiny hairs all over the
So,
floor.
what is Ty West deal? House of the Devil, Innkeepers, Sacrament, I don't know. Cabin Fever 2, VHS. There's just some,
Some good, some bad, you know?
he's that era of horror movies.
Right.
But X is good.
X is good enough that you couldn't wait to go see Pearl. You squealed all
I
the way
think
to
I
the
was
theater,
more
didn't
excited
you?
to see Pearl than I was to see. I was excited to see X, but the storyline is different than what you might think it is, which I liked. But then when you go, oh, they're gonna do this prequel movie, and then you see the trailer that's all kind of stylized, which is
Right.
sort of how the whole movie is.
Sure.
It's just it's a very good character study.
Interesting.
It's kind of like if Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix movie. It's
Yeah.
like if that was good.
Oh, interesting.
Not that she's a lady Joker. She's not Harley Quinn. Please, no. I would like to be.
Okay, Toots. Okay, Toots. Hey, Mr. J. 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 Okay, Toots. Hey, Mr. J.
So, okay. Having seen just the trailers for both, I would say, just judging by the trailers, I'd rather see Pearl.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to watch it, you might as well watch X too.
Well, I will. X-Men United.
I just think they're two different. They're two different movies.
X2 X-Men United was the sequel to X-Men. Bryan Singer's magnum opus.
I like the Last Stand.
I actually do like The Last Stand. A lot of people will say it's the worst, but I actually think it's pretty fun.
Have you noticed how only like freaks direct these movies? Bryan Singer, Brett Ratner.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of pervy freaks.
Yeah. But
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
So
Yeah,
Pearl's good. If you
that was
if you were
bad.
only gonna watch
no,
one,
and that was bad. When the Juggernaut says that.
at the time though, it's what 2011. We're loving it. You're in theaters, and you're like, they're doing the damn thing, because now Marvel, that's their whole thing.
Look.
Taika's like, and then maybe we should have me come out, and I'm like, hello, just stop by to grab my sneakers, and then we show Thor wearing my sneakers, and I'm like, okay, those are my sneakers, and he's like, no, they're not, and I'm like, yeah, those are my sneakers, and he's
Yeah.
like, no, they're not. And I'm like, you're fat now. And he's like, what? And I'm like, you're fat. And we make a movie where it's funny that you're fat. That's what X-Men 3 was striving to be.
Yeah. It
It
was
was-
ahead of its time, is what you're
It
saying.
was the train pulling into the station. And now Avatar 2 exists. So if you were only going to watch one of them, I'd say
Brett Ratner made two of the best movies literally ever made in Rush Hour and Rush Hour 2. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you did. Of course, I'm kidding. But Rush Hour and Rush Hour 2 are literally masterpieces.
are they doing a fourth one?
They better. But Jackie's like stuck in China.
That's true because of what he did.
No, I think his son. Something about his son. You'll have to look this up. Jackie Chan is like cannot leave China because his son was arrested or something. There's something going on there.
So
Anyway.
you're telling me they can't make...
I mean, I'm sure Chris Tucker could fly over to China and they just do it.
They couldn't have Brett Ratner direct it, though.
Oh God, no. I don't think so.
You want me to what?
Okay, so I got a thing here that says... Okay, so the first two articles that come up are... First one is the South China Morning Post, which says Martial arts star Jackie Chan wants to join the Chinese Communist Party, but China doesn't want him. Okay, so that's the first one. And then the second one I get here is, here's why Jackie Chan is really unpopular in Hong Kong. So I don't know if I'm finding what you are laying down, but I'm finding some very interesting Jackie Chan news.
I swear that I read that or heard that. Jackie Chan.
Why is Hong Kong movie star Jackie Chan so pro-Beijing? There's some politics going on the other side of the globe that I'm not familiar with. Wow.
Oh, maybe I conflated some things. Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan said he wasn't going to give his son any money.
Okay, that's what you turned into. He can't leave China. Yeah, he's gonna give it away rather than. He's 68.
Oh my lord!
You can't let him make another. Hey, protect Jackie Chan at all costs.
People are gonna love this episode too, where instead of describing what's on TV, we're just silently looking at what happened to Chan. 32-year-old action singer. His father is currently on a tour of Asia promoting his new film Dragon Blade. Okay, this was in 2015.
I got something here. Where is Jackie Chan buried? And then it says both were buried in Canberra. So
stuck in. So I'm looking up Jackie Chan stuck in.
You probably got some pretty funny photos.
Well, no.
Stuck in a window in Rush Hour 2.
There. The first suggestion is Jackie Chan stuck in jail. The next is Jackie Chan stuck in the middle. The third is Jackie Chan stuck in the mud.
That's
stuck in ignition. Stuck in throat. Nah, I'm just going to look in stuck in.
Jackie Chan announces Rush Hour 4 will happen, but
Really?
only if Chris Tucker agrees to return.
Why would he not?
So he hasn't confirmed it.
Well, anyway. I swear I heard that somewhere, and now it's seeming like that's not true.
I tell Chris Tucker, before we get old, please do Rush Hour 4. He is begging. He's begging, Chris Tucker.
Why would Chris Tucker not?
I know that he said it's not. He said it's not about money. It's about time to do it. Let's be honest here.
It's about money.
What are you doing, Chris Tucker, that you can't fit that? What is this? What is this? 3 months maybe out of your life?
Do you think he's worried that if he has to go on a press tour for a huge blockbuster movie, people are going to bring up that he was on Epstein's plane?
That might be part of it.
I think about that sometimes, of like, how many people are just, every time they go into one of those rooms where 18 million journalists swap out, and they're just sitting there knowing that they've done something indefensible, and at any second that shoe could drop. I'm not saying that Chris Tucker did anything wrong, by the way. He might have just been on a...
Maybe he didn't know. I don't know how much these people knew.
Exactly.
There's just a rich guy that everyone's friends with.
And he takes you
says,
to an island.
Right. A 12-year-old rubs your feet.
I mean, you got to know something's going on. But, you know, I'm not, you know, don't sue me, Chris. I love your work in Rush Hour and in Rush Hour 2. Oh, and Money Talks with Charlie Sheen.
Mm.
I mean, the guy's had an incredible career. Just do RH4.
And then we have to go. But I kind of went down the Google hole, as it were.
Oh, yeah.
About this guy that was in a band, and I'll keep it short. He was in a band, and then he
became the leader of the Black Parade.
dong. Oh, and if you were a kid during our years, you would know the dong noise.
Oh, right.
Shut up. But he was arrested because he asked an undercover cop who was posing as a hitman to have his wife murdered.
Oh, right.
Okay, you maybe know.
Yeah.
And so he went to jail for a while, got out, and he eventually rejoined his old band, which is fascinating that all of them are pieces of...
Who was this? Can't we say
guy's
it?
name, Tim Lambesis,
From
As I Lay Dying.
Oh, yes,
This
that's right.
metal band that
Yes.
was like a Christian metal band.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
a fascinating story to be
Yeah.
like, what happened here? So he rejoins his band, and I think a few guys did say like, no. And so, but I was watching an interview with him because I was like, does this come up?
It has
Because
to.
he's been married now for the third time. So he married someone when he got out of jail. They were married for a couple years. Now he married like this supermodel lady. And he was answering
Why?
questions, and they're like, what was it like getting back? This was like some German.
Sure.
So they're like, what was it like getting back with
Donkey,
old band
donkey,
before you?
donkey.
And he's like, well, so, you know, we weren't doing stuff as a band for a while. And and it's like,
Yeah.
every answer is him just having to somehow snake his way around the fact that he tried to kill his wife and was in jail for like 2 or 3 years.
That's so insane. Why would you ever be like, and now I will be your wife?
And then that doesn't work out I wonder what didn't work out the second one, but then she still let a third person be like,
Well, I love you, Tim. I know you didn't do anything wrong.
And what happened in the second one that he was like, you know what? Let's just move on amicably.
right, if I was
Instead
her
of wanting
and
to kill you.
you hear through the grapevine that you're getting a divorce, you'd be like, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he probably knows. He's like, well, the heat's on
Yeah, they're definitely going to be watching.
if this one goes missing.
And how, God, you almost feel bad for him. The one hitman that's a
Right.
undercover hitman.
You're that bad at like finding someone that it happens to be. Somehow you call the guy that pretends to be a hitman.
Oh, and by the way, if you're making a short film, don't make it about a hitman.
Please don't make it about
Unless it's about a hitman that's an undercover hitman.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great title.
What would you rate Smile?
I did see Smile. The premise, it's a lot like It Follows, basically, in all aspects. But I will say that, much like It Follows, for me, the premise is better than the execution, my babies. And I give Smile a 6.
What would you give It Follows?
Actually, maybe 6.5.
Wow, this is what to you was not as good as It Follows.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, was I more satisfied by It Follows? Probably not. I think I'll give both a 6, actually. I think they're tied for being pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe I like Smile better because the actor's great. Oh, here's what I want to say. If you make a movie and we go to see the movie, I don't need 3 minutes of the filmmaker talking to me about the movie before the movie starts. I go sit down at Smile, and some guy I've never seen in my entire life is sitting next to Kevin Bacon's daughter, who is the star of the movie. Thank you so much for coming to this movie. It means so much to me, a guy you've never heard of, and freaking what's her nuts? And she doesn't even talk. She's just sitting there like we're supposed to recognize her. We don't know you from Kira Sedgwick.
We don't. We do not know you from Kira Sedgwick.
And then you look it up and it's like, oh, that's
Sedgwick.
why she looks like that. Because Kira Sedgwick's her mom.
Listen to this. Sedgwick.
Somehow there's not that many people smiling in the movie. And you're just kind of like, add a couple more smilers.
Smile.
And also Kira Sedgwick's daughter. Look up her name if you want. I don't care. I'm in a hotel room.
I don't care.
I'm getting drunk on a plane, baby.
Yeah, I'm getting drunk on a plane.
She has an incredibly expressive forehead. So much so that sometimes you're like, I can't tell how old you are. She looks incredibly young and incredibly old.
And incredibly close.
Yeah. And her brows furrow in a perfect square. They make a perfect square on her forehead. Anyway. Not great. Oh, and we saw Don't Worry, Darling. The movie that everyone's been talking about. And is it as bad as some people say? No. But is it good? Absolutely not. I give it a 6 as well. Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.